Article from the Sedalia Capital, August 10, 1949. In Baltimore, police investigating the murder of 60-year-old spiritualist and fortune teller Emma Kefalos believed they had uncovered a strange possible clue, what they called a voodoo death curse. Inside Mrs. Kefalos's apartment, detectives found a small paper doll shaped like a man. It was hanging upside down in a bottle, with its head pointed downward. At the time, police said that, in some voodoo traditions, an upside-down doll could supposedly represent a slow death by strangulation or suffocation. Ironically, Mrs. Kefalos herself had been strangled to death the day before. The name Mike Pappas had been written on the doll 3 times. Pappas, a Baltimore restaurant owner, was one of several people questioned in connection with the killing. Police were also questioning Mrs. Kefalos's second husband, who had been separated from her for about 4 years. Detectives rounded up other fortune tellers, crystal ball readers, and spiritualists in Baltimore. Some had tried to place a supernatural curse on the killer, but police were focused on finding a real-world answer. Mrs. Kefalos's body was found tied up in her apartment. She had been strangled with an ironing cord. Her friend, 45-year-old Ora Dunn, told police that Mrs. Kefalos had predicted her own death. Dunn said her friend had told her she was scared to death and that she even seemed afraid to go to sleep. But despite all the talk of curses, magic, and predictions, police still did not know who killed her. In Mrs. Kefalos's apartment, they found books on magic, herbs, and incense, along with guides with titles like Money-Drawing Incense, Compelling Incense, and Love Potions. They also found $115 in cash, about $1,400 in savings stamps, 4 diamond rings, and other valuables. Police believed the killer may have taken another $600 in cash because Mrs. Kefalos supposedly did not trust banks. Neighbors said she ran a busy fortune-telling business and made good money. They also said she had often regretted becoming a spiritualist years earlier. When police arrived, her pet cat was alone in the apartment. A woman described as another fortune teller told police that Mrs. Kefalos had many male visitors. The newspaper's wording strongly suggests police were investigating whether some of those relationships may have involved money. Police tentatively identified Charles Baker, Mrs. Kefalos's first husband, as another person they wanted to question. Meanwhile, Ora Dunn and Mrs. Kefalos's daughter, Vaughn, were also questioned. A government worker named Nick Dritzes, who worked in a lunchroom below Mrs. Kefalos's apartment, was the person who found her body. So in the end, this 1949 murder investigation had all the elements of a newspaper mystery. Fortune tellers, a supposed voodoo curse, missing money, possible suspects, and a victim who may have feared her own death. But behind the sensational headlines was a real woman, Emma Kefalos, who was murdered in her own home. And at the time this article was published, her killer had not been found. Thank you for watching. For more strange, surprising, and forgotten stories from the pages of history, subscribe to the Forgotten newspaper.